York's classic rock. Q1043.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Jonathan Clark in the studio with, how do I describe him? There's so many. He's a very busy man. I'll just say that. He is multi-Grammy nominated, multi-platinum selling musician, singer, songwriter, actor, author, and now a maker of wine and beer, which I want to get to. His name is Dave Mustaine, the co-founder or the founder of Megadeth. Mm-hmm. How are you, man?
I'm well, thank you.
You're taking over New York for the past couple of days, it seems.
Have been, yeah, that's great.
And the current Megadeth album is so awesome, Dystopia. Grammy nominated for the title track for Best Metal Performance. This is the band's 13th Grammy nomination, and you haven't won yet.
Yeah.
But 13 could be the lucky number, right?
Yeah, that's the old saying, right? 13th time's the charm.
Yeah, but I remember I read somewhere that the last time you were nominated, you were at the Grammys and you were talking to Kenny G.
Yeah.
Now, that's a picture I really got to see. You and Kenny G.
Kenny's a good guy. You know what? The guy shreds on.
No, he can play.
The stuff you hear in the elevators is just stuff so that you'll get out of the elevator quickly.
Yeah. Or the dentist chair or something like that.
But he's great. His son's really good, too. And Kenny, I consider a friend of mine. Never would have thought that we would be friends, but we actually did a skit together for Funny or Die. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that, no.
You have to look it up.
I will look that up.
What happened was a while ago, I had a tour manager whose aunt had died, and I went to Men's Warehouse because, I saw the commercial. And the guy goes, "You're going to absolutely love the way you look," whatever. So I said, okay, so...
The guy had a great voice, as I recall.
He did.
Yeah.
So I bought the suit, and I said, hey, man, take care of me, and I promise I'll tweet about you on my site. I got a lot of people following me. And the guy goes, well, we can guarantee we'll get it there in 2 days. And I said, that's it? So I said, okay. So, my tour manager talks to me a couple of weeks later, goes, hey, did you ever get the Christmas basket I sent you? And I went, I don't know, because I don't open the cards on the Christmas baskets. I said, by the way, did you get the suit I sent you? And he goes, no. And I was like, get the So we call up the guy at Men's Warehouse and we say, what happened? And he goes, we forgot. And I said, you totally blew this. I said, nah, you got to make it up for me. And he goes, well, we can guarantee it'll be there in 2 days. I said, if you don't make it up, you're going to be in trouble with me.
Yeah.
And the guy wouldn't do it. So I tweeted about him and I told all of our fans, not that you'll ever need a suit unless you're going to a jail or funeral, or court or something. But you can skip these guys. The guy ended up losing his job, and me and Kenny ended up doing a Funny or Die thing.
Oh, man, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Dave Mustaine from Megadeth in the studio with us. You hosted and performed at the Revolver Music Awards last night.
Yep.
Now, this used to be called Golden Gods or something?
Yeah.
But now, and that was in L.A. or Vegas it used to be, but now it was the first time it was in New York, I guess.
It was in New York last night, yeah. And the thing was, last year it didn't happen because I think that they found that there was a little waning with some of the hosts and the material because, our musical genre is kind of, the riffraff of the music world. It's not how I feel, but that's how we are looked upon. And I think that when you get hosts up there that are saying the F word every sentence, and, part of the reason we're not in the Grammys anymore is because Slash went up there and he said, hey, this is for Tom fucking Zutah, and okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry for saying the F word, but, so I wanted to bring something classy to it. And Jose Mangan and I did it last night. And I thought we were pretty funny. We played off each other pretty well because, I'm a little bit more straight than he is, and he's on 10 all the time. So we had fun.
And your alter ego band, Vic and the Rattleheads, played St. Vitus in Brooklyn. I guess that was Monday night, which is really awesome. A lot of really big bands end up doing these like secret shows there, which is so cool. And Seth Meyers on NBC, that will be tomorrow night, Thursday night. Okay, so Tout le monde, translated from French, means everyone. It was also a song on euthanasia.
Right.
It is.
I got to stop you. You pronounced it right. Do you know how many people say that wrong? I can't.
À tout le monde.
Right. Merci.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But it's now Megadeth beer, and let me hold this up for the cameras here. I was looking at your Facebook, and you have some really funny sort of vignettes about you talking about the beer and sort of pouring it And well, so tell us about this. And you had a Cabernet like 2 years ago as well?
Well, a couple of years ago, yeah, actually, April 2014, we had done. Somebody was talking crap about my guitar playing and us as metal guitar players as a whole, not necessarily me, but just saying that metal guys, couldn't stand up against the classical greats. And I said, Vivaldi playing a Flying V would sound a lot like me and some of the other guys that are in our line of work nowadays. And the guy said never. And I went, watch me. So I got a gig at the San Diego Symphony. We did Vivaldi, we did Bach, Aaron at G string, we did Wagner, Ride of the Valkyries.
Amazing, so cool.
Yeah. And my wife had said, you need something that's going to be kind of like a social lubricant between the two worlds colliding. You've got metal fans that are going to put on tuxedos for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And you've got tuxedo-wearing subscribers to the symphony who are going to put on leather or denim for the first time ever. And they're going to come to this concert, and you need something where, we're going to be like people who have survived a shipwreck, where everybody's like getting along and happy and swapping spit and Christmas cards and stuff, right? So she had said, how about doing a wine? And I went, okay, because you don't think that people are going to be, popping a bunch of beers at a symphony show.
Right, yeah.
And we did a Cabernet, and it sold out in 2 days. And it was great. So I thought, wow, there's more to this than And the way that we picked the Cabernet was I went there, and I tasted it myself. And
what is the name of the Cabernet again?
The first one was called Symphony Interrupted.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, and that was the name of the symphony show too. So then we did a Cabernet called Blood of Heroes, a Syrah called Blood of Heroes, which the vine actually suffered a drought, so it's collector's item wine.
Wow, okay.
It's my favorite Syrah I've ever had. And then we did a super tea called, I think that was Kingmaker or Hook and Mouth, and then we did a Monterey that was one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Between the two, Hook and Mouth and Kingmakers, one or the other for the super tea or the Monterey.
And then A Tout Le Monde came about, I guess, like you announced it in October or something?
Yeah, because, during the day, the last thing from my mind is if I'm hot, I just to go get myself a glass of wine. I want something cold.
Right, yeah.
So, and we had talked to a beer company in Temecula, and they go, Dave, we would love to do this, but we just anticipate you doing a beer is going to be so huge, we'll never be able to keep up with the orders. And I thought, well, that's great that you have that kind of belief in me, because I didn't know how successful it would be. And then we talked to another company, and the jerk-off said, yeah, well, beer and politics don't mix. And I just went, oh my God, did you just say that?
What?
Have you ever been in a bar before?
Yeah, hello.
What do we talk about? Sex, religion, politics.
Exactly.
I think he just didn't like my politics. So I said, okay, don't worry, we won't ever talk again.
Yeah.
And the great thing now is I know that this guy's watching the success that we're having, and he's kicking himself.
Well, for an example, as I told you before, I tried to get some of this before our interview today, and I went up to Whole Foods at Columbus Circle in Manhattan, couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And then I went to another place, didn't have it.
Sold out everywhere.
It goes. So I got to go online and order it. But A Tout Le Monde, Bière Saison Ale, 4.5% alcohol from Unibrew. Right?
Right.
Well, this is fantastic. Tell me what happens at Megadeth boot camps.
Well, what we're going to be doing at this one coming up that I imagine you're asking about.
It's in March, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be at my estate in California. I still have my home in California. I live in Tennessee full-time now, but I still have the one in California. And it has a vineyard on it. It's got a river running through it. It's in a 200-year-old oak tree farm kind of area, real neat. And we're going to invite all the fans. They come the first night. We kind of get to know everybody, and then we'll have dinner and have a wine tasting. And then the next day is all clinics all day long, how to play guitar, how to play bass, how to play drums, how to write lyrics.
And the whole band is there with you as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and then we're going to have the brewmaster from Unibrew is going to be there. We're going to have a couple of other people there, the producer that worked on the record with me. We're going to be recording in my studio there. We're going to have the original track to Symphony of Destruction. Anybody that wants to can go in there and sing the original lyrics over Symphony of Destruction, make their own version to take home with them.
Wow.
That's like a side thing. That's not included in the pack. But and then that night we'll have dinner and beer. That's the Saturday. The Saturday morning, David Ellison, as a guy that's got 25 years in a 12-step program, is going to do a meditational program that morning. And then Sunday, since he's a pastor, some people would question that, he's going to be doing a little non-denominational church service for us on Sunday morning. And then we're going to do some more clinics and stuff like that. And that Saturday night we're going to have like a s'mores party and
nice,
sit around storytell and stuff like that. And then Sunday before we leave, we're going to try and get all 200 people to play Symphony of Destruction together. And have like this 200-person army of acoustic guitars playing, because I figure somebody out of that 200 is going to know how to play it right, and they'll drown out the ones that don't.
Yeah, well, the odds are good. Yeah, 1 out of 200.
And the goods are odd.
Yeah. Now, is it sold out, or people can still?
We just listed it just a couple of days ago. So yeah, there's still tickets available. I wouldn't wait, because what we're doing is we're allowing people to camp on my premises. We have a bunch of really first-class tents that are going in there. And if you don't want to be doing it that way, glamping.
Glamping, I know. That's a weird word.
Yeah, it is. Trust me. There's a casino right down the road where we're working together with them. And there's going to be a trip going to the vineyard where our wine is made, and there's going to be a tour of that. So it's an all-around great experience.
It sounds like even if you're not a super fan of Megadeth, you should go anyway, because what a fantastic weekend. So much fun.
Yeah, total.
Megadeth.com. Just go there if people are interested. Or?
Yes, Megadeth.com. And, the other thing that's really cool, too, is it's a very romantic area, because you're in a wooded, hilly area near the beach. We're 10 minutes as the crow flies from the ocean.
Oh,
and,
nice.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of people that'll be conceiving on my property.
Yes, it was March 2017 where you were born or conceived.
That's right.
Dave Mustaine with us from Megadeth, of course. Dystopia, the latest album, praised widely everywhere. On the charts at Billboard, #1 rock album, #1 hard rock album, #2 top current albums, #3 top 200 albums. And part of this new album, there was a virtual reality element to it, right?
Yeah.
And you got a Clio Award for that or something?
Yeah, we just got it.
That's fantastic. So how did that happen? And tell us about this VR element of the album.
Well, we were approached by a lady. Her name slips me right now. I apologize. I'll have to follow up with this. But she had a company, Next Galaxy, I think it is, and they had asked us if we were interested in doing a VR thing. And, I had been approached prior to the Symphony thing to do something. The people from Jaunt VR and from Oculus Rift had approached me because they knew that I was always on the cutting edge of the internet and stuff. We were the very first band to have a website back in October 31st of 1994.
Oh, my God.
The very first band to have a website. Yeah, I won every award you could possibly win.
That's incredible.
So long story boring. She, what's her name? Mary Silka? What is it?
Shapiro?
Yeah, Mary Spiro.
Oh, Spiro, okay.
Yeah, so we did this. She had like a little rover unit that had the camera on it, which would cruise through the session we were doing. So not only did you get to look all around, excuse me for getting off mic, but look all around the facility where we were recording. It was a constantly moving POV where, one part in the song you're behind me and looking all around. The other point of the song you're on my side looking all around. Another part of the song you're in front of me looking all around. And they found that to be so unbelievably cutting edge, and no one else had done it. Now, granted, the technology has improved since then, so I would love to do this again, but I love doing things and being the first. I think that being second is, it's great. It's fun to be part of it, but being an innovator too is so great.
Well, this Clio Award, it's from the advertising world. So you were in the same league as people like Star Wars, Intel, Coke, Samsung, big companies like that. Yeah. So it's Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Some new players on this album. One you sort of borrowed from Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And you got away. Tell me about Nashville, because for a long time now, maybe even 10 years, Nashville has not been what everyone thinks it is as the home of country, and it still is that. But there's so many rock bands that are moving there, recording there. So why that move to Nashville?
Okay, so let me follow what you were saying. Did borrow a drummer from Lamb of God, Chris Adler, played with us, won the Best Drummer Award last night for his performance in Dystopia.
Awesome.
And we now have Kiko Loureiro on, I was going to say Dirk. Kiko and Dirk is Dico or Kirk, whatever. So I had Dirk Verburen on drums now, and Kiko Loureiro playing guitar. Kiko and I both won Best Guitarists last night for the record.
Awesome.
And,
Congrats.
Thank you. And I did move to Nashville. This is my fourth time living there. You know, a lot of people think Nashville is like country music, but remember the phrase that we identify with in Nashville is Music City.
Yeah.
And the great thing about that is the studios are so pristine and the people are so incredibly professional there. When I went there, you know, everybody's using the clean side of the amplifier. So the dirty side where the metal guys plug in, it's all virgin. You know? You're plugging those cords into those receptacles for the first time.
You said something funny about Nashville, too, that I saw online somewhere. You said it's interesting to be in a city where the guy serving you dinner might be as good a guitar player as you or better.
Yeah, they are. And I got to tell you, you know, the thing is, you know, metal guys, they're pretty advanced with their playing. You know, I think a lot of times they're really, you know, in a niche. They do what they do. And when you watch country players, you know, a lot of times they're metal players that couldn't get a gig, so they settled for country. Like every single band that I've met, any of the guitar players are, oh man, I'm a huge fan of yours. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And you know, you meet these guys and some of the performers too. They're big fans. They love metal music, you know. And I'm excited about that because I like their music. It's not the music I would want to have with me on a desert island because I'm a metal guy. But I totally appreciate and respect the music. And my daughter's pursuing a country music career now.
Right,
She's very successful. And I've met a lot of these people. The guy actually who produced a couple of our biggest records, Dan Huff, just won Producer of the Year this year for the CMTs.
It's Dave Mustaine from Megadeth in the studio with us. A cool animated video for the title track, Dystopia. Was it the timing? Was it just timing that it came out during the election year, or was it all planned?
Oh, boy, I would like to say I'm that clever that I planned all this stuff, but I'll let you say that. You know, we did, it was actually a two-part video. It was for Dystopia, and I believe the second part of that was for Fatal Illusion. And when we had done the artwork for this cover, we'd approached a new artist. We'd had a guy that had done some of our art for a while, and we said we wanted to use this new guy, and the deadline came, and I said, okay, it needs to be turned in, and the guy said, I need one more day, you know, one more day. The checks in the mail.
Right.
So we said, nope, we're gonna pass. We're gonna use the guy that we've been using. So we kept we went on and got a different artist. And then our management said, Dave, you've got to take a look at this. And I saw what the new artist, Brent White, had done. And for me, it was so amazing. The hardest part was calling the previous artist up and saying, look, I'm sorry, but you know, if you respect the franchise at all, this is going to open a lot of doors for us, for you. You know, we'll be able to continue to do the archived Vic, but we've got a new Vic now.
Yeah. For that video, Dystopia, does it blow your mind that like over 2 million people have watched that?
More than that. That's just one site.
Or that's just one site. Yeah. Well, that was on YouTube or whatever, but that's just one. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, do you ever read the comments on the videos or anything like that?
Sometimes I do. I think that the world right now is full of a lot of anonymous out there that like to say really horrible stuff that would never say it to your face.
Exactly.
Trolling and stuff.
Yeah. And then, but people actually, it's amazing to see those sorts of people do those sorts of things. And there's their name and there's their face and they just don't care. You know, they just.
But I mean, anybody that's seen Catfish knows that a lot of times, the dudes in the
that's
profile,
true.
That's not them. There's somebody who spelled my name, my last name, Mustaine. So it looks exactly like my name unless you look really close. And he's impersonating me, and I was like, come on, give me a break.
Get a life. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I get it. I'm flattered that there are people out there that want to be like me or be me. But I think that it's disappointing that people can't find, you know, their own place in life.
Yeah.
Because I did, man. My mom was a maid. I was a poor kid. And sometimes I flash back at my life. Like we're with our kids, and I was telling Justice the other day because of the success of Tout Le Monde. I said, you know, JD, your dad, you know, we were poor. We were on food stamps, and you have grown up. You've never wanted anything, but your son is going to be able to reap the benefits of his grandpa's hard work.
Right, yeah.
Getting out there and working really, really hard, and it shows the American, the good luck story. The fairy tale. It's
The American dream.
The American dream is absolutely right. If you work hard for it, it'll happen. Now, I'm not one of those guys that says, go to college for 8 years and get a degree, because degrees don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
But I do believe that, your word is your bond. You shake a guy's hand, keep your word.
Everybody go out and get Dystopia if they don't have it already. It's an amazing album. And get Tout le monde.
If you can.
À tout le monde,
Yeah.
I should say. And go to Megadeth Boot Camp at Megadeth.com.
That's going to be really fun. And sing Symphony of Destruction, too. I think that's going to be really great for people to actually have their voice over the... I mean, imagine if we could have sang over a Led Zeppelin
Oh,
track,
my
man.
God.
Come on, would that have been great?
Been bananas.
No kidding.
Dave Mustaine, thank you so much for
You're
stopping
welcome.
by today.
You're welcome, Johnny.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.